Shaking up his Senate race, Herschel Walker is facing the first bad news, the first scandal he's ever faced. No, but there's this new write-up on Daily Beast that is just amazing to see what people who have chosen to work for this candidate are saying about him, albeit anonymously at this point. But you can take a look at the article. It's Herschel Walker lied about his secret kids to his own campaign. Now, you already know about the details of that, right? That's actually not what's so fascinating about this article. Now, they do go in depth into the timeline of behind the scenes, him apparently continually reassuring his own closest aides and staff that he was not concealing any more children from them before oopsie doopsie he was. And so he had to admit that he had lied to them. In many cases, after they had already gone out to bat for him, making statements about how he was telling the truth. And it just keeps happening over and over and over again. But at the end of the day, we mostly know about that. And of all of the issues with Herschel Walker, I think that however many children he has, that's like literally the least of my concerns. Far more concerning is what his aides actually now think of him. And they are becoming increasingly open and free about talking about it. And we have to dive into this because some of these quotes are amazing. So the Daily Beast says, with some great reporting, emails and texts show advisors discussing how they don't trust Walker, both to tell the truth to them and to handle campaign events properly, and harboring concerns that he isn't mentally fit for the job. He spouts falsehoods, quote, like he's breathing, this advisor said, which he needs to make a conscious effort to continue to do. So much so that his own campaign stopped believing him long ago. They say he's lied so much that we don't know what's true. They add that they have zero trust in him, and 3 different people interviewed for the article independently called him a pathological liar. Now, notably, as with other high-ranking pathological liars like Donald Trump, it is great to have these quotes. It is great to have these sources, Brett. It would be better if they identified themselves. It'd be better if people didn't want to work for a person that they thought might be a disaster were they to win. And we have a lot more that we have to get into from this article. Some great quotes, but what do you make of this?
Herschel Walker is a nightmare. Like the Republicans, this is the only time I really believe in the deep state. It's that Republicans are selecting candidates in what should be easy breezy, beautiful campaigns where they saunter into office, but the Republicans seem to be choosing the absolute worst horses to back. Like they had Roy Moore, they went for Warnock and and Loeffler, whatever her name is pronounced as, and they've got Herschel Walker here. When it comes to this write-up, like who even needs it? Purdue and Loeffler, who needs it? This guy with his "I am a family man of the Lord" story, and then it's revealed that he has more kids out of wedlock than Elon Musk. It's a nightmare. This is a guy who went on TV and said, I might be 1 or 2 words off. I didn't know, so I called my mom to ask her if there were any people alive now who were alive during slavery. He said that on a TV show. Your boy has freaking dissociative identity disorder, so it might be that the staffers don't understand that. That's an incurable but treatable disease that can last, years to your entire life, where you have multiple distinct personalities and you get memory loss. So maybe he's not lying. Maybe like he's psychologically inventing it, but at a time when any other mental health disorder is just chucked into the dustbin of uncared about nonsense by the Republican Party, they're gonna say this guy should be the next senator from his state? No.
Yeah, exactly. And look, nobody should be, ostracized like for having these conditions. People have these conditions. I think that we should talk more about it. And it doesn't mean that people couldn't, in theory, hold office. He clearly is not qualified for it. And who knows to what extent it has anything to do with the dissociative identity disorder. I don't know, maybe it's totally separate from that. Maybe the fact that he doesn't seem to know anything about anything and he can't seem to tell the truth about questions of substance, questions of his own history, the crimes he might or might not have committed. Maybe none of that has anything to do with that. I don't know, maybe it's that he got hit on the head a lot. Maybe he's just a big old liar like a lot of politicians. And any one of these individual things, in theory, could disqualify a person. You might or might not think in this case that it should, but this is a mountain of different issues. And not just for us, people who have no interest in him, surely, for politics and for a lot of other reasons, his own staff. And so I wanna give you more of what they had to say. Because their issue isn't just that he's personally a liar, it's that he is making their own job very difficult to do. They said that the operation for months has been at the mercy of a volatile, deceitful candidate, quote, a campaign's worst nightmare. It's like an S show on a train in the middle of a wreck. That is the perfect storm, I believe.
There are also bad writers on his campaign.
The metaphors got muddled there, but they have ridiculed his intelligence. They fear his mood swings and instability. Staffers worry he could embarrass himself at any moment. Setting the campaign back yet again and burning energy on damage control that they would have to do. The overriding concern that they have is that the stress and pressures of campaigning, criticism and backlash in particular, might make him, quote, just not mentally stable. And see, even here, where they're admitting so many problems with him, they are implying that it might not make him mentally stable, when it is clear that that is a long established truth. And by the way, again, all the lies and all that stuff isn't just about the kids. I will remind you, in case you don't know about the early chapters in this crazy book, he has claimed that he was a trained FBI agent and worked for law enforcement, which isn't true. He has told a preposterous series of lies about his academic record, that eventually things had to be scrubbed from his official bio over it. He's overstated his business success. He's taken credit for founding a veteran support program he didn't do. He claimed that former President Donald Trump has never said the 2020 election was stolen, when Trump was probably busy making that claim while Herschel Walker was denying it. And he's certainly done it a lot since. And the aides are saying the weirdest part of the story, perhaps, is that all of those things I just listed about the FBI and about the jobs and about Trump and all that stuff, that has not necessarily helped Herschel Walker in the eyes of independents or whatever, but it has perhaps shielded him from more serious, sustained concern about the core issues, which are not about individual lies or exaggerations, but about fundamentally if he has the intellectual, emotional, the psychological capacity to take care of himself, let alone an entire state. And so it's sort of helped him that there's been all these random things. It's kind of a little bit, Brett, like the Trump thing, where the individual scandals aren't as significant as the core issues with this person.
Right, but they yield scandals, and much like any sickness, it has symptoms. Like it's so funny to me that people on the right always say that, no, these Democrats, they're all paid actors, and really there's something horrible going on behind the scenes. When choosing a candidate, the Republican Party just goes and finds people who have like name recognition, fine. But usually you want your performer to be able to perform. And the internet, you just have to go do a quick search of like Herschel Walker's worst moments. And the guy is a disaster. And really the question is, in today's polarized electorate, does it matter that the person that they would have to vote for is this big of a train wreck off the rails in the night during a plane crash? Or are they just so desperately in need of that vote to swing the Senate back to the Republican side that people are willing to just ignore it? And luckily, with cases like Roy Moore, Perdue, and Loeffler, the electorate has said, no, this is a bridge too far. This guy's crazy. But the difference this go around is that the Democrats have the White House, and that is just might be enough of a headwind to get Herschel Walker elected to the Senate.
For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.